And this story is about a deadly lunch. Now, about 2 weeks ago, in a quiet town of WION in Australia's eastern Victoria, a well-respected pastor and 3 beloved teachers sat down for a home-cooked family lunch. They were in fact guests at this woman's home. Take a look. Her name is Erin Patterson. She had invited her in-laws, ex-in-laws, Gail and Dawn Patterson. Gail's sister Heather Wilkinson with her husband Ian Wilkinson were also there. The host, Erin Patterson's ex-husband Simon Patterson, was also supposed to be there, but then he pulled out at the last minute. The report said that the lunch was meant to mend things between them, but if anything, it ended up ruining things beyond measure. The lunch ended up in the deaths of 3 people. Erin Patterson served her guests with a dish that was called beef Wellington pie. The guests heartily enjoyed the meal, but just hours later, all 4 of the guests fell sick. They were eventually admitted to a local hospital. 2 weeks later, 3 of the guests are dead. Pastor Ian Wilkinson is in a hospital at this moment and is fighting for his life. The host, Erin Patterson, is a suspect in this case of homicide. So what really happened? Now, the police say that the victim's symptoms are consistent with death cap mushroom poisoning. So what are death cap mushrooms and why are they so deadly? In the scientific world, they're known as Amanita phalloides. They look really colorful, but you'd also be foolish if you were to find them appetizing, because these mushrooms are in fact highly toxic, and even a small quantity of these mushrooms can be fatal, and 90% of the mushroom-related deaths across the world are caused by this very species of mushrooms. Mushrooms grow across eastern Victoria. They're easily mistaken for edible fungi. But the question now is this: did Erin Patterson know what she was serving when she made the beef Wellington pie and called in her guests? Finally, the host of the deadly dinner has broken her silence. She claims that she simply was not aware of what she was serving. She says that she herself fell sick and she was in hospital, and she gave this statement. Let's in fact read it out for you. I'm now devastated to think that these mushrooms may have contributed to the illness suffered by my loved ones. I really want to repeat that I had absolutely no reason to hurt these people whom I loved. You see, Erin Patterson is claiming to be innocent. But the question is this: how did the mushrooms end up in the food that was served to them in that fateful lunch? Where did these mushrooms come from? The suspect says that she brought these button mushrooms for a meal from a supermarket and dried mushrooms from an Asian grocery shop in Melbourne. She claims that she had done the shopping months earlier. And this is where it gets interesting. Now, these mushrooms that are foraged, they are very popular in eastern Victoria. But the question is Erin Patterson hiding something? Well, she sure hid some evidence. She has admitted to this now once she was questioned. Now, during the investigation, when the police searched a local refuse centre, they found a dehydrator that was potentially used in the preparation of the deadly lunch. Later on, Patterson claimed that she had got rid of that dehydrator herself and had lied to the police about it. Why? She said because she panicked after her husband accused her of killing his family members. The police are now conducting forensic tests of the items that have been seized at the house. The case is getting more and more mysterious and interesting. Erin Patterson has been released by the police without any charge, but she still remains a suspect, because remember, it was the lunch that she served these 4 other people which resulted in 3 of them dying, and the 4th one is fighting for his life. Now, WION is a tight-knit community in Australia. It's becoming tough for people to not speculate as to what may have happened. In hushed tones, people discuss the lunch, and they wonder, how is it that these deadly mushrooms ended up in the lunch? 5 people were present at the dinner table. 4 of them took very badly ill, but the host herself seems to have managed to have gotten away with very few symptoms. So what do you think happened? Is Erin Patterson innocent, or do you think there was some foul play that was involved? Now, an investigation, of course, is on, but for the time being, though, the mushrooms that have been linked to the deaths still remain a mystery. But how did those mushrooms end up in the dish that was served? remains a bigger mystery. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.